Yep, that's going to be Hinami's shtick the entire time. The entire series is going to be the fact that she's a legal lolly and nobody wants to touch her and they keep calling her lolly and she keeps getting mad about it. At least they did kind of set those boundaries there and kind of, yes, explain the fact that nobody at school touches her because they're afraid of getting that taste. And outside of it, yes, it's technically supposed to be illegal. It was just more upsetting that that opening segment where you have the guy was after her, and once they discover that she's not actually a kid, they're like, oh, that is perfectly fine. A little bit of forcedness is fine. God damn it. I'm like, I was going to give you guys some credit for the society of actually having some boundaries. Like, nope, she's legal. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, what an episode. What an episode. I think a lot of my enjoyment came around the whole segment of them fleeing and just like getting into the app that they made is the fact that it detects like infrared. So it's able to detect whenever they're or they're warm. And that's how they find them. And it's funny because the entire time as the FS is chasing them, they keep bringing up the fact that they're ready. They're ready to go whenever. Get down on the floor, put your hands behind your head and put your out. It's just so stupid how like everything plays out. The dolls. Yes, he names them all. So the moment that she shoots them all, of course she's upset that she shot all of them and they're all known by name. It was crazy. It was crazy. But yes, let's get into the episode proper, opening up with, yes, the whole sequence with the pervert that was acting like he's, what was it, 4 years old or something like that. And again, them all coming up there, trying to protect her, saying the lolly is distraught and a little bit crazy. She's like, I'm not a lolly. She's just distraught. Don't worry. Here, have a sucker. Oh, yay. No, stop it. She has to bust out the ID just to prove it to everybody. Which, again, it's crazy because at that point, suddenly out of nowhere, the FS people are like, well, if that's the case, then you're fair game. The guy can have you. Yeah, sure. If it's a little bit forced, it's perfectly fine. You're not in that category, so it's perfectly fine. It was like, God damn it. At least they still was going to arrest the guy because they're like, well, that just proves that you're after that. If you assume that and that's what you're going for, then that's what it fits. The laws in this world are just like, what? What are we doing here? He's allowed to do that, but we're going to arrest him now because he was going to do something that he was intending would have been illegal. Okay. All right. Everything makes perfect sense. Sure, whatever. But no, they flee the scene after the guy's getting locked down. And we have the whole chase scene through the forest. Like I said, absolutely nuts. The entire time, they're sensing them based on their being wet and hot. And throwing all the powder at them. The flashbang. The flashbang, us FS are trained to have, to fit all desires that people have, including blindfold. So I'm perfectly able to fight when I'm blinded right now. Yeah, the whole the sticky stuff all over the floor and everything. Gotta get the dolls. The doll got me. The dolls got me. The fact that he named them all, but just absolutely bonkers stuff. Oh, I forgot the whole freaking like jungling across the place with a freaking. It's so stupid. But no, eventually they do get saved by somebody. Now they get into this person in particular, which is Fumino. And the fact that, yes, Fumino is a sniper that ends up saving Jinosuke. And after they get out of there, we get two different perspectives. One being Jinosuke talking with everybody about this videotape from the guy supporting them. That apparently their mission was to find Fumino. And on the opposite side, from the student council president side, they got a statement from Sho to go find Fumino. And apparently Fumino specifically is, according to this mysterious man, is supposed to be the key to taking down the lewd law. I have a crazy theory here out of nowhere. My assumption is that maybe possibly she's tied in with him, maybe a daughter or something from the mysterious guy, or granddaughter or something like that. But like when it comes down to like she is the key to stopping this, what would that be? Unless she is somehow directly tied to the politician that this whole stuff, maybe that's a possibility there too. My weird theory, what would she have that would break the law specifically? Yes, she's really skilled. That's a basic assumption there. Yes, she can be a hostage. That's a simple one there. What if possibly she's equipped in a way that would break the laws? What if she has both parts? That's where I'm kind of going with my mindset. What if it's like a girl? What is like something like that? What if possibly she has both girl and boy parts, and thus it sort of breaks the entire lewd law? Because again, they indicate the idea that somebody like Asane would not be able to exist in this law because she's supposed to give it out for men, but she likes women. That would make me think that Fumino would be the perfect person that would technically break those laws when she has both, or maybe maybe possibly don't have any parts. That would be another thing as well. I don't know. I'm kind of, that was sort of where my mind was kind of going. It's probably completely off base, but that would be an interesting kind of twist to everything, which I don't know that would actually work that well because with Asane, again, she doesn't technically like men, and she would just be breaking the law. It would be the same case with Fumino. It wouldn't necessarily break the law. It would be her breaking the law because she can't do anything. Anyways, that was sort of like my mindset was going there. Well, like, because, yeah, they flee toward the underground thing. They get that information kind of coming out there. We have the whole information happening with the student council. At the same time, Misaki is, like, super interested in what's going on here. And there's FS everywhere. And she walks right through the forest with the bike. And nobody spots her. I'm convinced at this point that's her whole shtick. That's going to be Misaki's shtick, is the fact that she has zero presence and nobody knows that she's there. Because nobody noticed her walking by there. Nobody noticed Fumino falling on top of her and them walking out of there. I bet she... It's going to be so funny because, like, jump forward, they're going to probably have, like, a lot of situations where they're going to utilize that. Like, her being around them just completely wrecks people's presence sensing. Like, she just, for some reason, has some sort of, again, background character syndrome that nobody senses her. So she's like the perfect spy and ninja. It's stupid. It's stupid. But anyways, yes, we get the whole scene where they bring in Hinami into the group. And yes, pretty much the legal loli joke. You don't like have and that's perfect. No, why did you assume that I don't have sex? I just can't. Nobody wants me. He's like, so you're against us. And Hasane's like, if you assume that people either want it or don't want it, is going to choose a side, that's kind of dumb. She's like, brother, seriously, you're kind of dumb. But no, getting into Hinami believing that she's ugly and flat-chested, thus nobody wants her. And then they're like, no, I don't think that's it. You literally look like a loli. Nobody's going to touch you because the law prevents people from touching. But yeah, right there, again, I'm thinking the same thing she's thinking. Well, then why is nobody at school touching her? Because they all know her age. Again, she's wearing a school uniform for that school that tells her age. Well, they're afraid of getting the taste. Not a taste like you. They literally don't. They're afraid of getting the taste of loli. That it'll change their taste, and then they'll get in trouble once they actually go after a real one. I feel bad for Hinami. That is so sad. That is so freaking sad. This is going to be the joke. This is going to be totally going to be her joke. And then again, they switch right into, she's a third year. So obviously she's a senpai. She's older than them. And of course, even though she likes to give the impression that she's a big grown up, she's actually a kid because all he has to do is say, will you help us, senpai? Immediately she's like, sure, I'll help you, kids. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Yeah, we cut to the next day. I like when they come into the school and suddenly everybody's like, oh my gosh, Jinosuke's with her. And he's afraid that his identity is revealed. And they're like, oh no, yeah, they must have been going at it all night. So, the perfect cover for him is the fact that he's walking around with like the biggest of the entire school. And I like how they do that at the school assembly. He yanks down his pants. He's got a freaking belt on. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's been so much by Nanase. Of course he's wearing that to recover. The moment he pulled that down, I was like, oh, he's gonna get in trouble. Nope, they're legit just playing off the rumors of the fact that he's been just so much that they can't even touch him. But yeah, Ray's concerned for Hinami. The fact that some guy attacked a girl and she so wants to say something. She's so mad that Ray's saying all that crap because it's literally what they identified her as. But that's when they have the whole school assembly. Freaking, was it Ikuko? Ikuko's like walking around and she's like checking all the men, like doing like examinations to find out how big they all are. Foreshadowing. Absolute 100% foreshadowing. It's going to turn into probably kind of similar to what they had in like prison school. This idea that there's this one person that is going to be massively, massively thirsty for the main character. And it's probably going to be at some point she ends up seeing Jinosuke without his pants on or the chastity belt. And she's going to be like obsessed. She's going to turn into insane yandere mode going after Jinosuke. Yes, everybody obviously wants to be him because that's what they're all supposed to do. But they're all doing it just out of, this is what we do. This is just automatic. This is what we always do. But I think she's going to be the one where it's like, because he's equipped the way, again, the way he said in the last episode, it's inhumanly, it's like you can't even comprehend how big it is. She's going to be totally after him. Watch, mark my word, that was totally intentional. But no, during the whole assembly, yes, eventually he ends up spotting Misaki off to the side, and freaking Hinami makes some comment about her chest being huge. And then like, no, you can't say that. As a loli, you can't say mean things like that. She's like, I'm not a loli. But no, it seems like through the conversation that Misaki had with Fumino, she's after the whole database as well, because they're all coming there hoping to sneak out, go to the student council room, and look into the FS's database to find information on Fumino. And it seems like Misaki is planning on doing something similar. When she was having the conversation with Fumino, she's like, are you a part of this anti-copulation front? And she's like, she said something like either or something like that. But it basically implies that she is a part of this. But then Fumino says, so you're as well, because it looks like you haven't. Like legit, Fumino, like from just glancing at Misaki, just knows that she's never done it. Like she's absolutely got to be a. I don't know. Maybe that's the whole thing that Fumino is going to be able to break the law, is that she can tell if people's done it or not. I don't know. But anyways, but it seems like based on the fact that she said, well, you got to be a part of it too because you've never done it. Misaki's like, well, then I guess I'm a part of it because you just said that. Because I haven't done it, that must mean I'm a part of that group because I haven't done it. So it seems like she's literally going to break into the office to help out Fumino, or at least to like alter the files, just for the sake of the fact that Fumino is assuming that she's a part of the group. Yeah, she's an airhead. It's like, yeah, she's an absolute airhead, like 100%. But no, yes, Jusuke and all them are at the big assembly where everybody's going at it. We have the appearance of Toka, the student council president, and she seems like an absolute like cultist leader. Like, I'm assuming that this might be standard how they view this stuff, how they view the law itself. My assumption overall is that the law is the idea of, again, making this normalized. And again, a corporation or, again, this particular mayor trying to make profit from it. Because it's nothing to do with the fact that there's a low birth rates or something like that, like you'd get in a standard storyline. It does seem like they're purposely doing this to make money. But I think from Toka's perspective, I think she's a cultist. So there's law, and then there's the cult built off of it. That's what Toka's going to be. She's all about the idea that we all come together, we connect whenever we do it. So keep doing it because it makes us all connect. It brings greater understanding if we all. That's literally what they're doing with her character. So she's turning it into that. But yes, at some point she does look at Jinosuke and then looks away. And he's like, well, I think I just seen something. I seen something there. So it does seem like she probably has some sort of interest in Jinosuke for some reason. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yes, they're having a athletic competition. An athletic competition coming up. So of course we have to have the sports festival turn into a squirt festival. Missed opportunity subtitling. You should have called it a squirt competition. Anyways, I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Because again, based on how they fight each other and all the goofy jokes that they do, I'm sure the squirt festival is going to be quite interesting with the different type of competitions they'll end up having there. They'll probably have like, you know, how fast you can get a guy to. They're going to have a dog running probably. There's so much stuff they can do with that. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be so stupid. Anyways, goofy episode like always. Looking forward to the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. If you did, hit the like button down below, comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. Like this content, you want to support the channel more, become a member of the channel because this will probably be demonetized, like I say, every single week. Y'all take care.